is no virtue.
Industrial giant, to get government back within its means and to lighten our punitive tax burden. And these will be our first priorities, and on these principles there will be no compromise. I can hear you! I can hear you! The rest of the world hears you! And the people!
Never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. Look, apologize. Got to start off today's program. It's going to seem like it's going to be a bit haphazard because within the last hour, I've had to change totally, absolutely everything. As of right now, we have a scheduled State Representative Kyle Biedermann. But even as I'm doing this program, during commercial breaks, I am going to have to do production work because I've had to call that big of an audible. It's going to be that crazy of a program. And let me tell you something. If it's dealing with the Alamo, if it's dealing with the Alamo cenotaph, then whatever extra duty I have to do, no matter how chaotic the program may seem, I got to do my best. But I got to ask you for your patience. So here's the breakdown, Saints and Patriots. This is how it really is. We're going to try to get Kyle Biedermann on here. Everybody else has been pretty much put on hold. Daniel Miller of the Texas Nationalist Movement was going to try to come on today. He's on the road. He may have a chance to call in. He may not be able to, but for sure on tomorrow we'll have Daniel Miller in to really dig down, do a deep dive and unpack what happened yesterday in State Representative Syrier's Cultural, Recreation, and Tourism Committee dealing with House Bill 1836 and the cenotaph. Now, as you know, one of the big issues that was coming into the 2019 legislative session was going to be the protection of Texas monuments, especially what's been attempting to be done to the Alamo. So there's a lot of bills that are floating around, but the one that is getting garnering the most attention right now is HB 1836, appropriately numbered. And what happened in committee yesterday was an absolute disgrace. to the state of Texas, to the Pink Dome, the state capitol. It was an insult to the legacy of Texas. It was an insult. Oh, jeez. You know, I'm infuriated at what State Representative Democrat Jarvis Johnson did yesterday. I know that when some people were witnessing and what he said, and they literally wept. And I have to say, I have to report on this. But I have to say, in reporting on this, I really do. I fear for the physical well-being of State Representative Jarvis Johnson out of Houston. Now, that may seem to be incendiary, hyperbolic, but once you see and hear what he said in the chamber committee room yesterday, dealing with the Alamo and the cenotaph and the purpose of Texas independence, the purpose of Texas of the war that we battled against Mexico and Santa Anna, that tyrannical brute, it is going to infuriate you, and we need to make Representative Jarvis Johnson that jackass. That's what he is. I mean, that's what Democrats are. Absolute 100% jackasses.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
So when you see what this jackass Jarvis Johnson says, they're all jackasses to me, the Democrats. That's what they act like, a bunch of jackasses. And this guy showed himself to be a jackass. State Representative Jarvis Johnson out of Houston. Listen, this is who Jarvis Johnson is. When Sylvester the Cat Turner decided that he wanted to run Houston into the sewage as mayor, this guy, Jarvis Johnson, filled his seat. So Jarvis Johnson, state representative out of Houston, replaced the longtime socialist and now mayor of Houston, Sylvester the Cat Turner. Now I've got to come up with a nickname for Jarvis Johnson, because when you see this video, you have to see it. You have to hear it. How he insulted you as a Texan, as he demonstrated that they will play the race card on absolutely any matter. That they will toy, the Democrats will, they will toy with the emotions, the deep-seated emotions of Texans for any type of political gain, personal retribution, vindictiveness, and everything that Jarvis Johnson did yesterday in that committee hearing potentially was about vindictiveness, was potentially about political motives. He insulted all of us, and we're going to make him infamous. We're going to be on Jarvis Johnson like a mad dog on red meat. I should have like a combat team to personally do all types of op research just on Jarvis Johnson. Let's see how big of a jackass skunk he really is. Because he's a dumbass jackass based on what he said yesterday about the Alamo. This is why I find the Democratic Party absolutely, totally loathsome. Democrats are loathsome to me. I have a visceral disdain for the Democrats. I really do. And when you see what this clown said yesterday about the Alamo, about Texas independence, about the war for Texas independence. Oh. Listen, like I said before, this is going to be a chaotic program. So what I'm going to do right here, right now, is I'm fixing to start a watch party on the Facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio Facebook page. That's what I'm going to do. And everybody that's watching right now on the video live stream, you should be sharing it. You should be sharing the video. You should be inviting people to the watch party that I'm fixing to start right now. Now, what am I going to say for the watch party headline? Here it is. Jackass Democrat State Representative Jarvis Johnson says that the fight in at the Alamo was for Texas whites to be able to hold slaves. I have the video to prove it. Okay, let me proofread. Jarvis Johnson. Oh, well, that was a typo. All right, jackass Democrat Jarvis, State Representative Jarvis Johnson. You know what I think I should do? I should put in there. He is from Houston. I should put that in there. I should do that. State Representative Jarvis Johnson of Houston says that the fight at the Alamo was for Texas whites to be able to hold slaves. I have the video to prove it. Okay, let me start that watch party right there. No, because see, I wasn't even going to do this program. I had something completely, totally different planned. Completely, totally different plan for the day's program. But then I got this little piece of information. So I had to call an audible. So I'm getting everything going here. I got the watch party going. Everybody's going to be... All right. The party has started. So I'm flying. I'm flying by the seat of my pants today. The laptop, which usually holds the rundown, the script for the day, is closed because essentially I'm running off of no script. During commercial breaks, I will actually be doing production work. Just want you to know that. So, because this news broke about Jarvis Johnson, State Representative Jarvis Johnson. Yeah, so I'm going to play you the video because you're not going to believe me unless you see it for yourself. That this black Democrat out of Houston literally has literally said the purpose for the battle at the Alamo and the purpose for Texas independence was for you white people to be able to have slaves. Jeez. What a jackass. He's an embarrassment to the race. That's what he is. That's who Jarvis Johnson is. No, we're going to make him famous. We're going to make him infamous. Absolutely, totally infamous. I don't care where you are, who you are. I don't care if you're watching by facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio. I don't care if you're listening through the RER app. I don't care if you're listening at RagingElephantsRadio.com through the audio stream. You need to tell anybody, everybody that you know right now. We need to be on this guy, Jarvis Johnson, like a mad dog on red meat. How dare he? How dare this dumbass jackass? He wants to insult us all. Texas independence was about white people being able to have slaves. What a jackass. Oh boy. Raging Elephants Radio. State Representative Kyle Biedermann, who authored HB 1836, will be on later on in the program. He's going to be on the floor of the Pink Dome. We'll only spend a few minutes with him to talk about the bill itself.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family.
Hey, this is Claver. I want to take a few seconds to give you some words of encouragement. Go after the dream. Some of you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show. Congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running is part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now with RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product. This is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECV is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing. No one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, from fruity to cookies, or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and the choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to zero and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Gessner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273, 713-939-VAPE, or see the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now you guys know I'm a former, fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com, or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Listen up, Texans. RER Nation has got to grow. We've got to have those RER app downloads. Android devices. Here's how to share the RER app. Get to your application manager through Settings, tap the RER app logo. There's your Google Play, right? Scroll down. See the share icon? Hit it. Choose text or messenger. Pick a couple of Texas patriots. Give a testimony in 160 characters. Send. iOS device folks, do the equivalent through the App Store. Let's get it viral. RER app.
Get to know Texas politics. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Yeah, man, I'm just going on the fly. Everything is on the fly today. Got a phone call earlier this morning, well, literally, like an hour and 15 minutes before I was prepared to go on today's program. And yeah, I'm doing last minute prep in the whole 9 yards. And I get a telephone call from those who were in attendance at yesterday's meeting of the Committee on Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. And HB 1836 was to be laid out by State Representative Biedermann, who I do have scheduled to come on at the top of the next hour to actually drill down on HB 1836. No, I don't want Kyle to get into the mud with State Representative Jarvis Johnson, who just made a fool out of himself yesterday. And this is what we're going to talk about primarily today. Now, I do have some other subject matter that I want to discuss, but if the whole program today deals with the asinine statement, comments of State Representative Jarvis Johnson out of Houston, then we're just going to have to do it, because what he said is just beyond the pale. He really needs to apologize to the entire state of Texas. He really does. I don't know what it is with these Democrats, man. When it comes to race, they are literally mentally deranged. They really are. And for Jarvis Johnson to make this type of comment, that the war for Texas independence was for slavery. Now, I've got some other observations about that, because when you see this, okay, when you see this, it is a multi-layer onion to unpeel what he means by the statements that he's making. Unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. I mean, I'm just going to say this right here. Based on the comments that he's saying, he's trying to equate the Alamo cenotaph to some sort of Confederate monument. You know, all this tearing down of monuments all over the place and whatever. That's what he's trying to set this up to be. He wants the cenotaph totally gone, is what he wants. He has absolutely no regard, no respect, no reverence for Texas history, for what happened at the Alamo, the sacrifice that was made, the ultimate victory at San Jacinto, and the unbelievable immense amount of grace and mercy that was shown by Sam Houston to Santa Ana, especially after what he did at Goliad, what he did at the Alamo. I mean, you oh boy, Jarvis Johnson, black Democrat out of Houston, you are a dumbass. Oh no, man, I'm gonna stay on you. I'm gonna stay on you like a mad dog on red meat. Until you better apologize. You better apologize for insulting the memory of those who gave their lives at the Alamo. You better apologize, you black Democrat. Dumbass, jackass, black Democrat. What a dumbass. Just let me go to the video. Now, I apologize because everything is so, kind of sprung on me at the last minute. Really haven't been able to chop up the video the way I want to chop up the video. So I'm going to have to start it and stop it. Now, there were some good testimony there, but I'm only going to focus on three things. First, the testimony of Daniel Miller of the Texas Nationalist Movement, and of course a Raging Elephants Radio contributor. Now, why? Because in the closing statements of State Representative Kyle Biedermann, he actually mentions the comments of Daniel Miller of TNM. So, and the comments of Daniel, totally right on target, profound, very persuasive, of course always articulate, and expressing a very reasonable point of view why HB 1836 is extremely important. Daniel making a very sober, reasoned, and strong presentation in favor of HB 1836. And then, of course, the author, the sponsor of the bill, State Representative Kyle Biedermann out of New Braunfels, he's going to come up, he's going to lay out the bill, and then Jarvis Johnson just exposes himself for what he is. So I'll jump in, but let's go ahead, let's get into the video right now. And once again, I got to tell you, it's not it's not my smoothest of video productions, but we're just going to do it, and we're just going to do it. So here's Daniel Miller to start everything off.
It's a little crowded in here today, right?
Got a good group.
My name is Daniel Miller. I'm president of the Texas Nationalist Movement. I'm here representing the, as of 5 minutes ago, 381,458 declared supporters of our organization all across Texas. One of the pillars of our organization's mission is to defend and protect the cultural independence of Texas. Throughout my time of being involved in this fight for the Alamo since 2009, I've crisscrossed Texas. And one of the things is abundantly clear, and that is that people all across Texas revere not just the Alamo as a building and a tourist attraction, but for what it means to be a Texan. It stands at the core of our DNA. Now, I will say this. I cannot believe that it is 2019 and we're actually having to have a discussion about the Alamo and how it should be revered and how it should be treated. I don't think I need to sell any of you on how important the Alamo is, and I don't think anyone in here needs to be sold, whether they're for or against this legislation. But what we have to do is look at what HB 1836 does. And what it does is it puts a pause on what has turned out to be the absolute most controversial, most highly opposed statewide part of the Reimagine the Alamo plan of the Alamo Master Plan. And that is the removal or the moving of the cenotaph. But see, therein, what I just said, lies the problem. While we heard the city of San Antonio testify today, and multiple times before in front of other committees, we've gotten multiple stories about what is going to happen with the Alamo. As a matter of fact, as I have met with legislators regarding the Alamo Master Plan, both last session and this session, what we have found time and time again is legislators have been given copies of the Alamo Master Plan that differ from one another. So is it 500 feet? Is it going to be moved 400 feet? Where exactly is it going to be moved? The fact of the matter is that we need this pause to save the cenotaph, yes, but so that we can all get educated. As I've crisscrossed the state over these last couple of years and talked to people about the Alamo Master Plan, another thing that has become abundantly clear is that the people have not been educated. When the city of San Antonio stood up here just a moment ago and testified to the fact that public meetings were held, there was an audible groan from the audience. Yet someone in the back piped up and said, well, that's just because they didn't come. Well, let me just be here to tell you and testify on behalf of the 381,458 people plus every other Texan I've talked to. They didn't know they were happening either. So let's take a 2-year pause. Let's get the legislature up to speed. Let's get the people of Texas up to speed, and let's get their voice involved in this process. And I'll leave you with these words. Every one of you took an oath when you were sworn into office on the Texas Constitution. Article 1, Section 2 says that all political power is inherent in the people. The people did not get a say in the cenotaph. The people did not get a say in the Alamo Master Plan, and it is in your hands today to provide that for them. And I sincerely ask you to pass HB 1836.
And with that, for the record, you are for the bill.
Oh, was that in doubt?
No doubt, but I want you to say it for the record.
I am for it.
Okay, so that's Texas Nationalist Movement President Daniel Miller, good friend of mine, Raging Elephants Radio contributor. There's been the Texas Nationalist Movement, as you can see. I mean, it's approaching 400,000 Texans that are in support of the preeminent advocacy organization for Texas independence on the globe. I am a member of the Texas Nationalist Movement. In fact, when I gave the devotional a couple of weeks ago at their retreat, the Runaway Scrape, I got, where's my pin? I should show them my pin. I earned my I. There's a little special pin that they give you when you've earned your I as a member of the Texas Nationalist Movement, so that you can officially call yourself a Texian, what we originally called ourselves. That's going to be controversial when we go independent again. Are we going to revert back to Texian, or shall we continue to call ourselves Texans? We may have to put that on the ballot when we go independent. But there you see Daniel Miller laying out really a very reasoned approach to this whole cenotaph controversy. It's really unnecessary. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. There's no need to reimagine the Alamo in some sort of UNESCO imagery. What little Georgie P.P. Bush is doing on this is why you cannot put a Floridian in statewide office in Texas. Little Georgie P.P. Bush, Jeb exclamation points son. He's primarily now. It's in his lap. The blood is now on his hands. Sure. I mean, Jerry Patterson, you may say, have had something to do with it. We've got the interview with Jerry Patterson and with Daniel Miller about the problems with the Alamo, the controversy from months ago going into the legislative session. And Jerry Patterson just absolutely eviscerates little Georgie P.P. Bush, who has no business being in public office in Texas at all. And when it comes to these committee hearings, doesn't even have the guts to show up and testify, because he knows that he probably will get booed out of the room as soon as he walked in, just like he basically almost got booed off the stage at the 2018 state convention in San Antonio. They booed him. He was booed, little Georgie P.P. Bush. That's what you get when you win. And the whole funeral thing with his grandfather is to set him up as the next heir to the Bush throne. Hey man, over our dead bodies, right? This guy needs to be out of office now. He's leading the charge on this mess. Little Georgie P.P., he's leading the charge on this mess. And he's a coward. He's a straight coward. He's not a Texan. No, he's not a Texan. He's Jeb exclamation points son. That's who he is. A very reasoned position, because most of us, we don't want to take this very gracious, hey, let's slow it down a little bit and let's let Texans learn a little bit more about this UNESCO, UN, World Heritage Site plan for the Alamo. Let's learn a little bit more about it. And most Texans are being said, and get the UN the hell out of Texas. That's what most of us think. That's what most of us want. If it ain't Texan, get it the hell out of Texas. You're going to have, wait a minute, let me get this right. You're going to have some nimnong, some ambassador to the UN, or a special ambassador to UNESCO from, I don't know, Mali, decide what's going to be done with the Alamo. You're going to have some, I don't know, UNESCO special ambassador to some committee, World Heritage Site committee, decide, for somebody from, I don't know, Nepal. Let's just name, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, so somebody like that to tell us what to do with the Alamo. Really? Yeah, we'd be like, get your... So HB 1836 is very reasoned, it's very gracious, because most of us be like, really? Do you really want to do that? Do you really want to touch the Alamo? Really? Just being real, right? So very reasoned. Okay, so let's go to Kyle Biedermann, because State Representative Kyle Biedermann, he's going to try to come on a little bit later on. He's going to lay out the bill, and then we get to the fireworks. So here's Kyle Biedermann really affirming, reiterating, confirming what we saw with Daniel Miller, the purpose of HB 1836. HB 36 is not a bomb throw, it's not an H bomb. It's it's very reasoned, very sober. Hey, let's back it up a little bit and see what's going on with this whole new global vision that San Antonio wants. And that's another thing. I know I'm digressing, but the Spirit of God must have put it in my mind. San Antonio, the whole Chick-fil-A thing, San Antonio. Austin is weird and San Antonio is lame. San Antonio is an embarrassment to the state of Texas. San Antonio, you're an embarrassment. And we're going to be talking about the Castro brothers and their mama, if we've got time, because this whole thing with the Alamo, that's how hooligan Castro's mama feels about the Alamo. She thinks the Alamo heroes were a bunch of drunken slaveholders, a bunch of crooks and criminals, for the purpose of advancing white supremacy, for the oppression of the Hispanic people. Rise, La Raza. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Castro's mama. Here's State Representative Cal Biedermann out of New Braunfels.
Here recognizes Representative Biedermann to close on the committee substitute to HB 1836.
Thank you, Chairman and committee members. I really appreciate Daniel Miller's advice to us. This is just to put a pause. The original bill was permanent, but this is just to put a pause. And if there's anybody in this room that doesn't feel the Alamo deserves a pause in order not to change the future history of Texas forever, that's a shame. So we're just asking for a pause. There's a few things that happened, some things I want to just clarify. Forrest Bias testified about more reverence. Hard to believe that we have more reverence for our defenders by moving them 500 feet away into the free speech area. That doesn't seem to me. And I appreciate the applause, but let's not do that right now, please. Out of line of sight, I don't know how much better a sight you can get at the Alamo than where that cenotaph stands right now, instead of 500 feet away. Safer and more protected, obviously that won't be safer or more protected because it's 500 feet away in the free speech area. More prominent place, the words we continue to hear from the General Land Office and the Alamo Plan. How could it be more prominent than where the defenders died and where the monument stands right now? Then to answer for Lori Houston from San Antonio, City of San Antonio, about the questionnaire where 60% of the people were in favor of moving the cenotaph. Let me read you the question. The question reads, are you in favor of adding the names of the Are you in favor of repair and restoring the Alamo cenotaph and the names of the missing defenders and relocate the cenotaph to a prominent location just outside the historic mission footprint visible from the church? That's the question to answer whether you're in favor of moving the cenotaph or not. Of course, you're in favor of all the other things. That's just not a good question when you have 6 or 7 things to answer yes to. So that's the question. We did 2 questionnaires. We've done 2 different polls. One by the City of San Antonio councilmen themselves back in September when they had 3 precincts and asked if they were in favor of moving the cenotaph during these deliberations in City Council. And all 3 of the City Council or the City Council precincts were 60% do not move the cenotaph. When they asked the question, are you in favor of moving the cenotaph? Simple question. Then we did a telephone poll a few months earlier throughout the whole state of Texas. Same result, 60% were not in favor of moving the cenotaph, and the question was simple. Unfortunately, there's been some misrepresentations.
Look, I got to jump in real quick. Now, maybe later on in the program, we'll have a chance to break this down a little bit further. But as you are watching this video of State Representative Cal Biedermann closing out the laying out of the bill, HB 1836, notice the guy to Biedermann's right, screen right, the black guy, on the left side of the dais. That's State Representative Jarvis Johnson. And I should have brought it up at the very beginning, but I want you to look at his body language. I want you to understand. Look at his body language. He's in anguish. Look at his body language. He's got his face in his hands. He's like this. Like he's got a migraine. Like he needs Excedrin. Like he needs a BC powder. Like he needs a Molly or something. I don't know. But check out his body language. Look at his body language. He was ready for bear. He was ready to fire. Right then, right there. He was just waiting for Biedermann to finish. Check it out. Here you go.
A pause so that we can talk about the future history of Texas.
Look at his body language. Look at his body language. Look at it.
Mr. Wilson speaking about the Phil Collins Museum pieces that will be put in the museum. That museum does need to start being
that's in third from the right.
But it doesn't speak at all about the cenotaph. The cenotaph is not in the way, and the current museum plan location does not require the removal of the cenotaph to commence construction. Again, we're just asking for a pause so that we can all talk about these things, and you can hear there's a lot of different stories being told. So we just want to be able to put a pause. That's all we're asking for. This legislative session is going to go down in history as to how each one of us in the legislature decides what to do with our defenders and with the monument to our defenders and what happens at the Alamo. I just want to read one thing before I close. This is from Colonel William Barrett Travis while he was in the battle, or in the Alamo, waiting for Santa Anna to attack. And he said, let the convention go on, the convention that would make a Declaration of Independence. And we will then understand, and the world will understand, what we are fighting for. If independence is not declared, I shall lay down my arms. And so will the men under my command. But under the flag of independence, Texas independence, we are ready to peril our lives 100 times a day and end it with victory or death. We're just asking for a pause. That's the vote we're taking. And I thank you for this opportunity to lay out HB 1836. And I hope for your favorable vote.
Mr. Johnson, you have a question or not?
No, we're going to hold Mr. Johnson's question. We're going to hold Mr. Johnson's question until after the break. Real short break. And then we're going to have State Representative Biedermann at some point call in. But, no, dude. Did you see his body language? Did you see his body language? He's not happy at all. Short break. We come back. I'll play for you what this jackass actually said about the Alamo. You're not going to believe it. Raging Elephants Radio, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about TEXANS. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. TEXANS has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. TEXANS, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. TEXANS charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of TEXANS, I'm in it. TEXANS, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElephantsRadio.com. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product. This is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECV is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing. No one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, from fruity to cookies or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and a choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to 0 and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Gessner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273. 713-939-VAPE or see the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hey guys, spring is just around the corner and it's time to check out your air conditioning system. Call Galen Beatty with Beatty AC and Heat, 281-222-9591. and mention this commercial, and you can save $15 off your next checkout. Galen Beatty is my AC guy, and he needs to be your AC guy too. No one does it better than he does. This family-owned business is the best in Houston. And even if you're out of town, if you need to replace your entire heating and AC system, Galen Beatty is going to be your best bet. He'll check everything from your thermostats to your air handler to make sure that you're getting the most efficient system ever. Nobody does it like Galen Beatty, and the price is always right. So be sure to mention this commercial and save an extra $15 today. That's Galen Beatty with BeattyACandHeat.com. BEEE ACandHeat.com. 281-222-9591. 281-222-9591. Call him today.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
Texas-centric radio for Texans in the know. RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hey. What's up, Saints and Patriots? Claver, your favorite political flavor. Always giving it to you straight, no chaser. State Representative Biedermann is scheduled to come in a few moments. He's going to be on the floor of the Pink Dome, middle of the session. So when he has a break, he's going to call in from the floor, and we're going to really talk about HB 1836. Without any further ado, let's see what State Representative Jarvis Johnson out of Houston has to say about what he had to say yesterday. This just happened yesterday about the Alamo and the cenotaph. It's absolutely disgusting. He needs to apologize to all of Texas. State Representative Jarvis Johnson, leftist, black, dumbass, jackass. He's a Democrat.
Representative Biedermann.
Yes.
How would you like an unlikely supporter to your bill?
Wow. Praise God.
No.
See what he did? You see what he just did? Representative Biedermann, how would you like to have an unlikely supporter to your bill? Because, of course, you know, Jarvis Johnson is a Democrat, right? And so he plays the people. And so Biedermann is praising God, and the people in the room started applauding. Hey, yeah, man, cool, you know, Democrat, hey, you know. Oh, no. A Democrat acting like a Democrat. Oh, no. Gotcha. I got you. Nah, it's too good to be true. You know I got to play the race card.
Be careful. Are you in favor of adding names to the cenotaph?
Yes, sir.
Would you be in favor of adding all of the names of the slaves that fought at the battle of the Alamo?
Sir.
Yes.
Do you know their names?
Let's find them out.
Do you know their names?
I can ask some people in the audience if you'd like, if they know the names.
Because there were a lot of slave owners that fought at the Battle of Alamo. But I don't hear nobody over here talking about it. I only hear you talking about those brave men, and I heard them call them by name. But I didn't hear any of the slaves called by name. And I looked through the cenotaph, and there was none there. There's one. Two. So why don't we start looking at the history, and as we want to collect this history, Let's collect this history, but let's make sure we tell the entire story. Because if we tell the entire story, then we can be on the same page. But let's not leave certain parts of our history out, because we want to make sure that our children's children understand what the battle was all about. And it was a battle to ensure the independence of Texas.
Yeah.
The independence for Texans to own slaves. So let's make sure we keep that story going too.
Well, we'll definitely keep you informed on this, Jarvis and Representative Johnson. Thank you.
Mr. Biedermann?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Just a quick...
Now. Whoa! What are we gonna do with this jackass? Lord have mercy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wow. Yeah, it's infuriating. It's frustrating, and you better laugh and try to take it with a grain of salt, because you're dealing with a Democrat. You see, this is why, if you're listening right now and you're a Democrat, I question your sanity. I really do. That you would make the decision to be a Democrat, that you would make the decision to support any Democrat on any issue. I've said it before. I'll say it multiple times. I find the Democrats to be totally loathsome. I have a visceral disdain for Democrats because of a stupid mess like this. Did you hear what he said? Did you see how he played the people? He played them. Did you see how he absolutely... Oh, whatever. Did you see how he absolutely was in anguish when the bill was being laid out? When all the people were up there speaking to the issue of the reverence of the cenotaph, how it's hallowed to us. For what they're trying to do with the Alamo, what they're trying to do with the cenotaph, it's sacrilege in the minds of Texans. The Alamo is hallowed ground for us. And you have a Democrat like this say something like that. The purpose for the war of Texas independence was for white Texans to be able to hold slaves. Never in my life. I'm going to take a break, see if we can get a hold of State Representative Cal Biedermann. I know that he's on the floor and that he is scheduled to call in here at the top of the hour, and I want to be ready for him when he does call in. So let's take a quick break right here, and come back. We'll break down this whole Jarvis Johnson thing. Oh, but we're going to make this guy famous. I guarantee you we're going to make this guy famous. Can you believe how he insulted all of Texas? He's going to say he does, for Texas history. He doesn't know Texas history. Do you know any of the names of the slaves? Do you know any of the names of the slaves? Do you? That's what I wanted to ask him. Do you? You name some. You name some. Because if it wasn't for a slave and a woman, a wife of one of those who perished at the Alamo, we wouldn't know what happened at the Alamo. Does he have proof, Jarvis Johnson, that slaves died at the Alamo? Because that's what the cenotaph honors, those who perished at the Alamo. That's what I want to know. I don't think he knows a doggone thing. I think he's ridiculous. He's asinine. He's a Democrat. It's no secret about the censorship that big technology companies are practicing as we speak. Are there ways to get around this? For us, at Raging Elephants Radio, and for you, the Raging Elephants Radio app is the way to do that. It gives us direct communication to you with no middleman. No Facebook, no Google, no Twitter. Raging Elephants Radio and you in direct connection. No interception. Beat the censorship. Download the Raging Elephants Radio app.
Texas independence. Have you ever thought about it? What exactly does it mean, or is it even possible? Sam Houston said, "Texas will raise her head among the nations." Was he a dreamer or a prophet? You can get the answers to these questions in the book Line in the Sand by Daniel Miller. Doc Green says it's required reading for every Texan. Line in the Sand by Daniel Miller gives you the information you need to be prepared to give an answer to anyone that asks. As a Raging Elephants Radio listener, you are the go-to person for your friends. RagingElephantsRadio.com. This book is more than a good read. It will equip you to reach others while pursuing a better future for your family. Get your copy now by clicking on the link on RagingElephantsRadio.com. RagingElephantsRadio.com. That's RagingElephantsRadio.com. Since a portion of the proceeds goes to support Raging Elephants Radio, it may be time for you to cross that line in the sand. RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com. What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texan. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texan has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and
hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com. What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texan. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texas has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press.
The battle for liberty rages in every Texas community, none more so than in the nation's fourth largest city, Houston, Texas. A tyrannical mayor denies the right to vote to the citizens of the city, signs executive orders that violate the Texas Constitution and the charter of the city, and issues subpoenas for the sermons of pastors. And when the frontline leaders against the mayor's totalitarian agenda wanted a broadcast partner for their Faith, Family, and Freedom Tour, who did they request? RagingElephantsRadio.com.
There are a lot of great folks that we owe a big debt of gratitude for promoting this issue from day one. I want to recognize my friend Claver and the folks over at Raging Elephants over here. He was on it from day one. Every single week this man talks about this issue. And so thank you, Claver, for never giving in, never backing down, and continuing to be that loud conservative voice.
RagingElephantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. Get to know Texas politics. RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Saints and Patriots, let's welcome in State Representative Kyle Biedermann out of the I-35 corridor. That would be the New Braunfels area. Kyle hasn't been on the program in a while. We've talked about some of the good work that Kyle has done in the past. And State Representative Biedermann, welcome back to Raging Elephants Radio.
Hey, well, Claver, it's great to be on. And actually, I'm in the Pink Dome right now on the House floor, so I stepped off. And always excited to talk to you and your listeners about the truth about what's going on here at the Capitol and the things that we're fighting for.
Well, we specifically have been focusing on HB 1836. The bill was laid out yesterday in Cultural, Recreation, and Tourism Committee, headed up by State Representative John Syrier, yes, correct.
Yep.
And HB 1836 has really become the centerpiece of a fight this session, many bills that are addressing the protection, the integrity of Texas monuments, various types of Texas monuments, but especially a strong focus on the Alamo. A lot of bills dealing with the Alamo. And yours has sort of been tip of the spear when it comes to that fight in protecting the integrity of Texas heritage. 1836 seems to me to be a very reasonable approach. Let's talk first the genesis of the bill. Why is it needed? Why does it need to be signed by the governor?
Well, 1836 obviously is the year of the Battle of the Alamo, and we wanted to make sure we got that number so it would give more impact to the bill so everyone would know what it is. But the purpose is we've got a battle right now, and the battle is between the state of Texas, headed by Commissioner Bush from the General Land Office, and the city of San Antonio, headed by the mayor, Nierenberg. And they are the ones battling. And the city of San Antonio wants the Alamo to be the mission. She wants to be a mission, tell a 10,000-year history on the battlefield, and move the defenders off the battlefield into the free speech area designated by San Antonio 500 feet away, and replace them with, as I said, burial grounds for indigenous Indians and history going back 10,000 years, and have do a little bit of justice to the battle, but mainly it's going to be sanitizing history forever. And we can't have that, especially we can't have our land commissioner selling out to the city of San Antonio. So that's why this bill is so important, that we put the brakes on that Alamo plan, and we protect the cenotaph, because if the cenotaph moves, then that's basically the beginning of the end for getting rid of the defenders of the Alamo.
Well, you speak about the Texas Land Commissioner, Commissioner Bush. Now, I've had an interview and conversation with former Land Commissioner Jerry Patterson. When all this started, Jerry Patterson was really still in office when a lot of the controversy started with the daughters and who was going to take care of it and what's going to be put back in the hands of the legislature, and why was UNESCO being invited in, and what was this whole World Heritage Site type of thing, what was that going to include? And then then you have on the other side, San Antonio wanted to make it into Alamo Disneyland or something. I don't know. But all that started back then, and Jerry Patterson has been extremely critical of Commissioner Bush about his handling of the Alamo situation and the cenotaph since Jerry Patterson left office. But it seems that this seems to be a consensus. Those who say hands off of the Alamo, it seems to be a consensus that the land office and Commissioner Bush is not doing anybody any favors. I don't think has he shown up for even any hearings on monument protection bills at all. Did he show up for HB 1836 on yesterday? State Representative Kyle Biedermann.
Well, actually, it's worse than that. Of course, he did not show up yesterday. But I called a special hearing just for the GLO and the city of San Antonio to come before our committee, Land and Resource Management, which oversees the GLO. And we called, actually, Speaker Craddock, who's been here for 50 years, the elder of the House of Representatives. He's the chairman. He called the special hearing so that we could hear from the city of San Antonio and the GLO in the same room and ask them questions about what's the plan at the Alamo. And Commissioner Bush did not show up. mayor of San Antonio did not show up. They sent their own delegates to the slaughter, basically, to come and answer our questions. And they just fed the party line, and they both had different stories to tell. You know, the GLO saying that we want the battle to be the preeminent thing on the battlefield, and you got the city of San Antonio that wants 10,000 years of history and wants the mission. So it was a smart thing to do to get them on the record to show that they're not in unity on what's going to happen at the Alamo.
That's something that really stood out to me in watching the video from yesterday's committee hearing. They really don't know what they want to do with the Alamo. How if they really want the support of the electorate on whatever they wish to do with it, it would seem that they would have all their ducks in a row. They do not. That's one of the things that Daniel Miller brought out. They got several different plans, giving it to several different plans to several different representatives and senators. So now you got utter confusion and chaos even amongst the elected class.
Well, the thing is, they know exactly what they're going to do. They passed and signed off on the lease and the Alamo plan. They have the plan. It's been worked on for 5 years or 10 years. They have it. They don't want to admit to it. That's the problem. So if you talk to the General Land Office, they're going to tell you, oh, it's still in flex. It's still in, we haven't really settled on the plan yet. You talk to the city of San Antonio, the plan's been signed, sealed, and delivered, and the lease guarantees that plan has to be followed. It's just misrepresentation and not telling the truth. That's all it is. They have the plan. They just don't want people to know what it really says. That's all.
Wow. And of course, everybody on, well, let's just say, quote unquote, our side, the keep your hands off the Alamo side, we kind of know what's going on, and it really is a battle to inform Texans of what's going on, and that's why HB 1836 is very reasonable and very sober. It's not saying go forward with the plan. It's saying, hey, let more Texans know what's going on and let them have a say in what to do in the most hallowed shrine of Texas independence on our piece of real estate. That's essentially the spirit of HB 36. It's not a resistance. It's not necessarily a pushback. It's a sober approach to considering what's being put on the table. That's my interpretation, Kyle.
That's exactly it. We need a pause in what's happening at the Alamo, because the people here at the legislature, we're the last ones that can do anything. It's already been signed. The GLO has already taken possession of the leased property. Now it's leased, which means we have to do what San Antonio says. So we've taken possession. It's over and done with unless this legislative session and these legislators right here in the Capitol stand up like the defenders stood up and they fight for the Alamo. If they do not, it is over, because we won't meet for 2 more years, and who knows what's going to happen. The
roots will be deep in 2 years. They move fast.
That's exactly right.
The roots will move faster than kudzu weed. Okay.
Right. So I'm telling the people here, it's dire. I mean, I'm telling you, can you look in the defender's face and say, I'm not going to fight for you. I'm just going to make believe it's not happening. Well, I'm not going to do that, and I know the people don't want to do that, but we need to, as you said, we need to educate the people and educate these legislators, and that's the purpose of 1836. And so right now the bill reads, you cannot move the cenotaph for 2 years. Now what that does is it gives me 2 years now to continue to educate before we go to the next session, and then if we don't get anywhere, I file legislation again. Okay. So this is the legislature is the only ones that can stop this right now, not the people. The people can call their legislators and tell them to vote for HB 1836, but it's up to the legislators now. The people's voice was not listened to.
Yeah, well, yesterday in that committee room, you can tell the rank and file Texans who love this state and who understand the historical context of what's being toyed with. It was overwhelmingly in favor of HB 1836, and the polling data that you showed, I think, is an underrepresentation of if it was really polled properly, what the numbers would actually be. Over 60% of Texans are saying keep hands off the Alamo. I don't want to drag you into the mud on this, but I am focusing on the comments of State Representative Jarvis Johnson out of Houston, and I'm not asking you to necessarily respond to what he did or how he performed on yesterday. I'll take care of that. What I do would like for you to address about Representative Jarvis's comments and questions. The audience that was there in support of HB 1836 affirmed, if even out of order for a committee hearing, that if there were such people of color, perhaps even slaves, that lost their lives at the Alamo, because remember the cenotaph is about those who lost their lives, then no one is in opposition to adding those names to the cenotaph. They should be properly honored and revered and remembered, no matter what their economic or social status was at the time, including slave. Now, I don't know of such an occurrence. We know that the only reason we know what happened at the Alamo was because of a slave and because of a woman, a widow. We know that, but
the woman that wrote the book, the woman that wrote the book, Joe the slave from the Alamo, that was Travis's slave, she was in the audience. She wrote the book. She did the research. She has all the names, and she went up to Representative Johnson after the hearing and waited for him to get off his phone so that he could recognize her, and she told him she had every single name and she knows everything about it. So he got the information directly from the person who wrote the book, and she was in the audience yesterday.
I'm asking myself, the question I'm asking myself is, can he name? Okay, I mean,
of course not.
Okay, so
of course not.
So
that wasn't the point.
That was not the point.
The point was to come after me, since I had talked to him earlier in the day about the bill, and he didn't want to talk to me about the bill, and he got very upset with me.
Why?
So he was just looking for a way. Well, that's just how people are sometimes, okay?
I don't understand. And then he makes it racial. I don't get that.
Of course. Well, maybe, I guess that kind of tells you so much character.
He played the race card. I mean, seriously. I mean, the level of insult, Kyle, that he laid on generations of Texans, as if trying to equate the War of Texas Independence with the Civil War or something, as if Texans were fighting for the right to hold slaves. I mean, how insulting.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. But I'll let you take care of that.
Yeah,
I'll let you take care of that, Claver.
Believe me, Kyle, I will take care of it. That was absolutely insulting. It was disgraceful. Yeah. But I'll take care of that. You take care of protecting our monuments, and you take care of protecting the integrity of our most hallowed ground, the Alamo and San Jacinto and Goliad and the rest of the trail that has blood on it for the name of Texas. Now, Kyle, just anything before I let you go, is there anything else you want to inform Texans about, just generally, that they need to focus on from your perspective in this last month and a half of the session?
Ah, boy, this is definitely a different session, and I don't know what to tell you. I tell you, it's a spiritual battle up here. Ask questions. Make sure you know what you're saying before you go putting things on social media. But just know that we are fighting our tails off here for you. And there's a bunch of good guys up here, not enough. But we'll get you all the information you need if you ask us, Claver. I appreciate you getting the information out to your listeners because we need the state of Texas. We can't lose the state of Texas to the Democrats. There's just no way we could do that. And or even to the liberal Republicans. That's the other problem. So stay strong. That's all I can say.
Just real quick, Kyle. What I'm hearing from more than one person is that, unfortunately, from the Republican side, they seem to be operating out of a spirit of fear.
They are. From the last election, they're so afraid of Texas turning blue. That's how close we are. That instead of being on the offense, we're on the defense, and it's sad to see. We're fighting to turn that around and come on the offensive on some things and really make some good pass some good bills for the state of Texas. But I'm a little concerned about that. But We're up here trying.
Well, get back on the battlefield, which would be the floor of the Pink Dome, Kyle. I don't want to take too much more of your time because I know you are in the middle of session, and we'll have a conversation later about precisely what you just addressed right there, because I think it's extremely important. There are some good people up there that are trying to fight for life, liberty, and prosperity. We recognize you as one of them, and we certainly appreciate what you're doing as far as HB 1836. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Saints and Patriots, HB 1836, authored, being carried by State Representative Kyle Biedermann out of the I-35 corridor in New Braunfels. He is indeed one of the liberty-driven patriots that is a member of the elected class. He is a public servant and conducts himself as such. So, hey, Kyle, thanks a lot. We'll stay in contact.
Hey, Claver.
And
hey, God bless you, man. God bless you, and God bless Texas, Claver.
God bless Texas, indeed. The Lord Jesus bless Texas. The Lord Jesus bless you, your beautiful wife and family, and we will talk with you, follow up on HB 1836 very soon.
Great, thank you. All right, bye-bye.
State Representative Kyle Biedermann. He's a good guy. Known him for a few years. This is his second term under the Pink Dome. He showed himself very stellar as a rookie, connected himself with the right influencers under the Pink Dome, has a fantastic RER Liberty Scorecard average. He is liberty driven. He's one of the good guys. And he is working with the likes of the Texas Nationalist Movement and other liberty-driven organizations on some really good issues that we are concerned about. I know he's concerned about the transportation issue, the property tax issue, 2A issues. Biedermann is lining up on the right issues, on the right side of the proper issues dealing with liberty. So we'll continue to talk about this clown Jarvis Johnson. Like I told Kyle Biedermann, I'll take care of him. Don't worry about it. That's my job. I'm a combat journalist. I'm a rebellious Texan.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Here's a sample from Pastor Keenan Smith.
See, however, though, I believe the White House is supposed to stand as the people's house for all individuals. So I believe it is sinful and wrong for the White House to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of your tax dollars to bathe the White House in rainbow colors, celebrating their victory. So let me say this, that we expect an unregenerated individual to act lost. Lost people act lost. We expect that. We even expect them to embrace or promote or even applaud homosexuality and other ungodly practices because that's where they are in life. We understand that. The question is not do they act lost, but do we act found?
Enjoy Pastor Keenan Smith, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001, 713-467-2001, americasrepair.com, or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle. Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. Germs and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or
TV and radio are great mediums for mass instruction, but for those times when you just want to hold something in your hands, there is the Damn Good Times. I still love the newspaper, but I'm tired of the liberal bias. That's why I reach for the Damn Good Times. Always full of interesting stories and great information, and you can have it delivered to your doorstep by calling 281-332-5710 or sending an email to news@thedamngoodtimes.com. Just $50 a year will get a full subscription. It's a great gift for all the patriots you know. Do it now.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest. Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. Riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER
Here's
app.
how to use the RER app on
Members equal power. Spread the word about RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Yeah, I mean, this whole program today, I just got to tell you, it's without script, essentially. Because at the last minute, I got all this information about what State Representative Jarvis Johnson did yesterday in the committee hearing on HB 1836. Once again, thanks a lot to State Representative Kyle Biedermann for coming in. I didn't want to drag him in the mud, but he definitely, and as we all saw, what is he going to do? Deny it? He can't deny. He can't protect, and who would expect him to? You can't expect him to protect the comments of his colleague, State Representative Jarvis Johnson out of Houston. No, what Johnson said was the reason the Texas War for Independence was fought was so that white Texans could hold slaves. I don't know. I guess that makes Santa Anna some equivalent to Abraham Lincoln. Can you believe this jackass? What a jackass, really. That's essentially what he's saying. You know how when it comes to the Civil War, the American Civil War, you know how they say that there's these arguments, okay? There are those, and I've heard it, there are those who say, hey, well, it really was about ending slavery. And then there are those who say, well, no, it's the war of northern aggression. The war was about the states' rights, 10th Amendment. That's what it was really all about. They don't want to say, oh no, it's about slavery. Well, this is pretty much what State Representative Jarvis Johnson has done. He has made the war for Texas independence about slavery. Can you believe it? He is essentially saying that as far as the defenders of the Alamo and the victors at San Jacinto, those slaughtered at Goliad, as they put their lives on the line for the essential right to hold black people as slaves, to continue perpetuating slavery. That was their reasoning. I don't think that Jarvis Johnson has ever read the Texas Declaration of Independence or the original Texas Constitution. I just don't think State Representative Jarvis Johnson, the dumbass, jackass Democrat out of Houston, knows what the Hades he's talking about. I wonder, is he the long-lost father of Alexandria? Obviously clueless. I think DNA testing is in order. That's what he said, Saints and Patriots. If you missed it earlier, I'll get a chance to play it a little bit later. But that's what State Representative Jarvis Johnson said. Now, one thing I got to say, though, is that when he finished making his asinine comments, Gervin Hawkins, the state representative out of Black Democrat out of San Antonio, she was like, hey, wait a minute, I'm not so sure I want to associate myself with those comments from Jarvis Johnson, because she's out of San Antonio, Black Democrat. She says, I want to thank everybody. That's what she said. I want to thank everybody for coming and expressing your views. But that's not Jarvis Johnson. Jarvis Johnson, are any slaves on the cenotaph? Are any slaves on the cenotaph? That's what Jarvis Johnson is concerned about. How come there aren't any slave names on the cenotaph? I think I see one. I think I see two. He doesn't know. He's too stupid. He's too stupid. Where did he get his education? Is he even from Texas? Who knows? Jarvis Johnson from Houston. No. He says that the reason for the war of Texas independence was so that you white people could have black slaves. That's what he says. Literally what he said. But this is something that's a lot bigger than Jarvis Johnson. This is a sentiment within the Democratic Party, especially when it comes to Texas, how they want to corrupt accurate history. The whole Alamo thing, it's just a part of it. It's just a part of it, wanting to change legitimately the legitimacy of Texas history. They want to change it. I have an article here. Daniel sent me this. I want to thank him for that. And it's about one of our presidential candidates, Julian Castro, the former mayor. He's a declared candidate for president of the United States. Hooligan Castro. I'd always heard these stories about the Castro twins' mother, George Rodriguez, El Conservador, is very, very familiar with the history of the Castro's mother. But I'd never seen anything actually published about her views about the United States, about the Alamo. And I really think this particular story should be updated. Now, it's on foxnews.com. Mother of Dem convention star Castro called Alamo defenders, quote, drunks, quote, crooks. Now, it was originally published September 5, 2012. Now, of course, Hooligan Castro, the mayor of San Antonio, and then eventually the mayor of HUD, HHS, what was he? He went to Obama's kingdom, and was plucked out of obscurity by Barack Hussein Obama to basically be the Obama of 2012, trying to run the same play. Remember, in the 2004 presidential campaign, that's when Barack Hussein Obama was introduced to the world as a Illinois state senator. 2006, he runs for U.S. Senate. 2008, he runs for president of the United States. It was my belief that Obama's candidate for 2016 was going to be Hooligan Castro. They're going to run the same play. Well, of course, it was Hillary's turn. But Hooligan is in this time, as anticipated. Don't know if Barack Hussein, the Messiah of the Democrats, their God, has given his approval. Don't know if it's Hooligan or if it's Beto the Punk. But this story, because he is now a presidential candidate, needs to be revived. And it links perfectly into this whole Alamo cenotaph thing. This whole changing of Texas history. Now, first published September 5, 2012, last updated December 23rd, 2013. 15 by Fox News. Once again, the headline, Mother of Dem Convention star Castro called Alamo defenders drunks, crooks. The Hispanic Texas mayor, whose keynote speech wowed the Democratic National Convention crowd Wednesday night, draws political inspiration from his mother, who was a member of a radical civil rights movement and who reportedly thinks the truth behind the Battle of the Alamo is that Texans swiped Mexico's land. Maria del Rosario Castro, the mother of San Antonio Mayor Julian Castro, said in 2010 that she grew up being told the battle was, quote, glorious, end of quote, only to learn the so-called heroes were really, quote, a bunch of drunks and crooks and slave-holding imperialists who conquered land that didn't belong to them, end of quote. She told the New York Times magazine, quote, but as a little girl, I got the message. We were losers. I can truly say that I hate that place and everything it stands for, end of quote. This is the mother of the former mayor of San Antonio, Texas, a former member of the Obama administration cabinet, a cabinet secretary, and a current declared candidate for president of the United States from San Antonio. With this whole battle, all this mess about trying to make the Alamo into some sort of Disneyland, some sort of amusement park, Six Flags over the Alamo. Castro's the one that really kicked this thing off, and you can see from his mother's attitude why he and his brother Joaquin Wackadoo Castro, congressman from San Antonio, have such disdain for Texas history. This Alamo, San Antonio, boy, I tell you, San Antonio, you are an embarrassment to the state of Texas. An embarrassment, San Antonio. Allow these people to do this. Then this whole Chick-fil-A thing. Does San Antonio belong to the Lord Jesus or does it not? That's what I want to know. We're going to continue with this article about Julian Castro and Joaquin Castro's mother and the Alamo, because this all ties into what's happening with 1836 and what Jarvis Johnson said about the Alamo. Don't you know that as white people, you guys fought the Battle of the Alamo for the right to have slaves in Texas? That was the reason. That's what Jarvis Johnson, state rep out of Houston, said. And here's Castro's mother. A bunch of drunks and crooks and slave-holding imperialists who conquered land that didn't belong to them.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Numbers equal power. Spread the word about RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Okay, for tomorrow's program, I know for sure Daniel Miller is going to be on to continue talking about HB 1836 and what happened yesterday at the hearing where HB 1836 was laid out. Now, State Representative Biedermann was on just a little bit earlier. The background information that I'm getting is that HB 36 should be able to sail through committee. But you heard Kyle Biedermann say it right there. He thinks the whole shenanigans with Jarvis Johnson yesterday was a personal thing. Isn't that what I said? He said, yeah, earlier in the day, he and Jarvis Johnson were having a discussion, and Jarvis Johnson wasn't very cordial. And then Jarvis Johnson gets up there and does this. He goes up there and equates the war for Texas independence with a fight for white people's right to have slaves. I mean, my goodness. Now, before you went to break, and I want to get back, I want to finish this article because time is running short. I think it's important because we have a current presidential candidate, Hooligan Castro, former mayor of San Antonio. You know, hey, listen, why don't you guys send me an email or send me a direct message or on Facebook or put it in a thread or all these different, through the Raging Elephants Radio app, hit the email icon or something. And tell me if you guys want me to make some t-shirts that says keep Austin weird and San Antonio lame, or Austin is weird and San Antonio is lame, or something like that. Julian Castro has declared as a presidential candidate. And it's important to understand his roots and his attitudes when it comes to the Alamo. Does the apple fall far from the tree? And Hooligan Castro's mother, well, she says, I can truly say that I hate that place. She's referring to the Alamo. I can truly say that I hate that place and everything it stands for. End of quote. Now, the article is rather sharp. We don't need anything else more than this. This is indictment enough. This is straight up. This is more than indictment. This is conviction right here. Convicted of Alamo hating. The article concludes, the Alamo, then a sprawling mission for missionaries and American Indian converts, was attacked in February 1836 by Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. Though historical accounts vary, Texans, including famous frontiersman Davy Crockett, well, he didn't like that, you know. From what I understand, he liked to be called David. Fought back for 13 days only to surrender on March 6. Maria del Rosario Castro also was a member of the La Raza Unida, a radical movement that defended the civil rights of Mexican Americans in Texas. The 37-year-old Hispanic mayor, and remember this is back in 2012, talking about hooligan. The 37-year-old Hispanic mayor told New York Times Magazine that upon being elected mayor in 2009, he promptly hung in his private office a 1971 La Raza Unida City Council campaign poster that featured his mother. Neither Castro nor his mother returned calls seeking comment. Castro's twin brother, Joaquin Wakadu, is running for a Texas congressional seat this year. And of course, he was victorious. I'm going to link to this on RagingElephantsRadio.com so you guys can see this, and I'm going to continue to talk about this. But see, this is the attitude that there are some that are even multi-generational Texans that have this attitude. This is the attitude that State Representative Jarvis Johnson showed on yesterday. She's quoted in this article in 2012 where she calls the defenders of the Alamo a bunch of drunks and crooks and slave-holding imperialists who conquered land that didn't belong to them. Oh, okay. Right. So, I don't know. Mexico didn't invite them in. They weren't invited in by Mexico. I mean, deals weren't necessarily done. Promises weren't necessarily made to the settlers of Texas. No. They came in, raided, and invaded. In other words, Mexico did not protect its borders. That's what happened. The land didn't belong to them. That's what Julian Castro's mother believes. I don't see anywhere where these statements have been retracted. Maybe she feels differently now, but I doubt it. And I'm pretty sure the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, based on what we saw from Joaquin and Julian Castro when they were firmly in Texas politics in Austin and in San Antonio. Julian being the mayor, Joaquin being a state representative. And now Julian is a presidential candidate anointed by Barack Hussein Obama, and Joaquin is up-and-coming, rising, soon-to-be, I'm sure, committee chairman in Washington, Devil City. But their mother says the defenders of the Alamo were not heroes. They were a bunch of drunks and crooks and slave-holding imperialists who conquered land that didn't belong to them. But as a little girl, I got the message. We were losers. I can truly say that I hate that place and everything it stands for. Can you imagine if she had won the mayoral race back when she ran in 1971 on the La Raza Unida party ticket? My goodness. Julian Castro, that's his mother. I tell you we were going to talk about his mama. I told you we were going to talk about his mama. We talked about his mama and Joaquin's mama. Maria del Rosario Castro. And I think George said, George knows all about the mama. I'm going to have to invite George on because, you know, the conception of the Castro twins has a little scandal in it as well. George knows all about it. This is just the beginning when it comes to Maria del Rocio Castro, the mother of Democrat Party candidate Hooligan Castro, former mayor. And so when Jarvis Johnson says things like the war for Texas independence was for white people to be able to hold slaves, he falls right in line with this kind of nutcase, mental derangement interpretation of Texas independence and us as a republic. That's exactly what's going on right here. Take a quick break, come right back, and I'll play for you the video once again. State Representative Jarvis Johnson insulting all Texans. All of us. Every single one of us, and he needs to apologize. Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver and I own a high performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hi there, my name is Mark Cranenberg and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to talk about my favorite order from Chicago Steak Company. It's the Classic Prime Assortment. Alright, well let's open up and have a look what's inside. So right away we've got 2 6-ounce filet mignons. If you know anything about steak, it's really rare to see filet mignons with that kind of marbling in it. Just beautiful steak. And then next we've got the 2 12-ounce USDA prime strip steaks. Just look at how thick these things are. They're just beautiful. Again, beautifully marbled, amazing steak. Then we've got 2 USDA prime ribeyes. And if you like steak that is just mouth-watering, this is the steak for you. With all that marbling inside, you'll see it's thicker. The marbling is a lot thicker. That just means more moisture throughout your steak. Now we've got 6 USDA prime top sirloin steaks. These are the steaks that everyone's going to love. Then we're moving into our next package. Next we have 16 4-ounce gourmet Angus steak burgers. These are amazing burgers that everyone's going to love. And to top it all off, they give you 1 container of my favorite steak seasoning of all time, the Chicago Steak Spice. And you're going to love it too. So there you have the Classic Prime Assortment. My favorite and your ultimate steak experience. So be sure to order your steak today at mychicagosteak.com. I'm Mark. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next time at mychicagosteak.com.
Visit Chicago Steak Company through the RER Marketplace. RER 1836. Join the club, the new club. Politics, adrenaline, relaxation, fun. Your $18.36 monthly club dues gets you into the monthly brunch totally free, and you get a cool gift too. We call it the Bowie Level Community, RER Community, Liberty Movement Community. Beyond just networking and performing political alliances, it's a community built around liberty, Texas, and pure friendship. That's RER 1836. Join right now so you don't miss the next fantastic upcoming events.
It's the first RER 1836 brunch, Saturday, 8.
Take us wherever you go. Raging Elephants Radio, streaming on your computer, tablet, and smartphone.
Just having fun talking Texas Liberty 411. Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani Claver, your favorite political flavor. Always giving it to you straight, no chaser. Daniel Miller will be here tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll have some other guests. Look, everything was just kind of thrown helter-skelter all of a sudden when I got this information this morning about State Representative Jarvis Johnson demonstrating why the jackass is the appropriate mascot for the Democratic Party. It truly is.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
And when you're a state representative of Texas, as Jarvis Johnson is, out of Houston, and you make a comment such as the reason for the War of Texas Independence was so that white people could hold black people as slaves, you are a jackass. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. And there needs to be DNA testing. I wonder if he's the long-lost father of Alexandria, obviously clueless. Wow. See, on a daily basis, the Democrats prove that if you are a Democrat, something is really wrong with you. There's something about your ability to reason, your capacity to understand common sense has been lost. Every day, Democrats prove that if you are a Democrat, something's wrong with you. Yeah, I'm gonna go back through this video again. Now, as you guys know, I threw this thing together. I mean, I have no script, I have nothing. I just did this thing literally seat of the pants. You know, Daniel and Kara helped me out a little bit. They put me in contact with State Representative Biedermann to get him in here to talk about HB 1836 and the protection of the Alamo cenotaph. So that was fantastic. I need to thank them for that. And then Daniel's going to come in tomorrow. We're going to drill down more on HB 1836 and what else is going on as far as protecting the monuments of Texas and the truth about Texas history. No, State Representative Jarvis Johnson, the Texas War of Independence was not fought for the cause of slavery. I'm gonna try to play this and see if I can find exactly where it starts, begins, ends, the whole 9 yards. If I can do that, because it's kind of hard, but I'm gonna try. If I can back it up.
The cenotaph. The cenotaph.
Okay, that's good right there. Good right there. Oh yeah, okay. I think I found it. Right, I think I found it. Here we go. Here we go. Jarvis Johnson.
And then it was we're asking for a pause. That's the vote we're taking. And I thank you for this opportunity to lay out HB 1836. And I hope for your favorable vote.
Mr. Johnson, you have a question or no?
See, did you look? I put it on freeze frame. I put it on, just by pure luck. I hit freeze frame, and look at the body language of State Representative Jarvis Johnson. His head is literally in his hands. Look at it. I freeze framed it for you. Look at it right there. Incredible. State Representative Jarvis, do you have a question? And then listen to this mess. Listen to how he plays the people. He toys with the people. That's who Jarvis Johnson is. That's how he played this.
Representative Biedermann.
Yes.
How would you like an unlikely supporter to your bill?
Wow. Praise God.
No. Be careful.
See, he's playing him. He's playing him. Look, did you see this? This is why I have such visceral disdain for Democrats. He's got these people that have traveled from all over the state to express their concern about the hallowed ground, which is the Alamo, and the cenotaph, which honors those who lost their lives defending the Alamo and fighting for Texas independence. And he plays these people. He plays them like a grand piano.
Be careful. Are you in favor of adding names to the cenotaph?
Yes, sir.
Would you be in favor of adding all of the names of the slaves that fought at the battle of the Alamo?
Sir.
Yes.
Do you hear everybody saying yes? Yes. If there were any, we know of at least one Joe Thanks to him, we know what happened at the Alamo. My goodness. The question is, do you know of any slaves? What's their names? But everybody there to support HB 1836, everybody there attending to protect the integrity of the true Texas history. They said, yes, anybody who lost their lives at the Alamo should be honored, no matter what their economic or social status was at the time. Free, slave, Native American, of Spanish extract, of European extract, who cares? That's one of the beautiful things about the Alamo, one of the beautiful things about Texas, and for that matter, even the founding of the United States of America, the American Revolution. It was a multiracial thing. And the battle for Texas independence was a multiracial thing. And for us to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come to fruition, come to manifestation, for Texas to once again be an independent republic, it's going to have to be a multiracial thing. Anything that we want to do as far as life, liberty, and prosperity for Texans, it's going to have to be a multiracial thing. Same thing when it comes to the United States of America. That's why we fight so hard to have some diversity, more representative diversity in the GOP. Go find those conservatives of color and saying you're voting for the wrong party. How can you stand someone like Jarvis Johnson if you're speaking to Democrats, if you're speaking especially to black Democrats, if you're speaking especially to white Democrats, white Texas Democrats, how can you associate yourself with someone like a Democrat, Jarvis Johnson, who says the purpose of the Texas War on Independence was for the right to hold slaves?
Do you know their names?
Let's find them out.
Do you know their names?
I can ask some people in the audience if you'd like.
Do you know their names?
Because there were
Do
a lot
you
of
know their
slave owners
names?
that fought at the Battle of Alamo. But I don't hear nobody over here talking about it. I only hear you talking about those brave men, and I heard them call them by name.
See, all of you out there watching right now, you see this black jackass right here? Don't put me in the same camp with him, please. Don't make the mistake of just because we have similar skin pigmentation or we both have the ability to produce melanin a little bit more abundantly than you do, that I feel like he does, like I think like he does. Don't connect me with him at all. None whatsoever. I got nothing in common with that jackass except the fact that we are able to produce melanin at an abundant rate, more than perhaps you that are watching right now. Don't associate me with this jerk, with this Democrat, with this leftist, with this Bible-defined Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 2 fool. Don't do that. See, I don't like it when I'm walking down the street or I walk into any public place, or if I was to walk into any political event, and just because of my skin color, I am to believe to be a jackass Democrat. Just because of my skin color. I don't like that. I'm being prejudged all the time on a political basis, and I don't like it. I'm being associated with a jackass like this. No, don't you do that. Don't you do that. Don't you try to associate me to be like him or any other Democrat in any way whatsoever. Do not think that I have any sentiment that's close to what this Democrat black jackass is saying right here, right now. Please, please, don't associate me with that guy. I'm nothing like him. I don't want to be like him. And I don't want to have anything to do with the Democrat Party. I don't want Democrats having anything to do with any aspect of my life, because it's populated with asinine individuals, moronic imbeciles like Jarvis Johnson of Houston.
Called by name. And I looked through the cenotaph and there was none there. There's one. Two. So why don't we start looking at the history, and as we want to collect this history, let's collect this history, but let's make sure we tell the entire story. Because if we tell the entire story, then we can be on the same page. But let's not leave certain parts of our history out, because we want to make sure that our children's children understand what the battle was all about. And it was a battle to ensure the independence of Texas. The independence for Texans to own slaves. So let's make sure we keep that story going too.
Well, we'll definitely keep you informed on this, Jarvis.
Hey, yeah, Jarvis, go to Hades, bruh. That's what I say on that. That's what I say. Go to Hades, bruh. I'm putting it mildly. I don't understand how anybody with any type of common sense, I don't care what your education and attainment has been, I don't care what your economic status is, when someone demonstrates that level of moronicness, and the party is populated with people of such ilk, how can you vote for a Democrat, any Democrat, for anyone who would associate themselves with the Democrats? I just don't get it. Yeah, he said it, folks. You said it right there. You saw it right there. State Representative, Democrat, Jarvis Johnson out of Houston. The war for Texas independence was for the right for Texans, white Texans, of course, to own slaves. That's what he said. That's it for me, Saints and Patriots. I'm Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. My enemies under the pink dome call me the purifier, and I like it. From Houston, the shameful home of Jarvis Johnson. May the Lord Jesus bless you. May the Lord Jesus bless the past and soon to be future independent sovereign republic of Texas.